Hey guys, so now we will get into the twos. The twos in tarot represent duality, balance, partnership, decision making, and it signals the transition from the solitary energy of the aces into a union or maybe even a conflict. They highlight the need for harmony between opposing forces and often signify a challenging choice. Some of the key themes for the twos are, for example, the Two of Wands is planning, future decisions, potential for expansion, and taking the first steps towards a goal. The Two of Cups represents a union, partnership, connection, mutual attraction, and emotional harmony. Card is very similar to the Lovers. The Two of Swords represents balance. It means represents difficult choices, needing to make an intuitive decision, or blocking emotions to avoid conflicts. The Two of Pentacles represents flexibility, juggling resources, finding balance in life, adaptability, and managing change in the physical realm. Some of the core themes of the tools are duality in partnerships, meaning the necessity of working with others or blending in internal and external worlds. Another is decision and choices, hesitating before choosing a path or merging two different ideas. And another is harmony and tension, meaning the potential for a perfect or peaceful pairing or the tension of balancing two opposites. So now we will get into the deeper meanings of each card. We'll start with the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is a card that represents harmony, connection, and mutual respect. This is the card equivalent to the Lovers in the major arcana, and it represents the merging of two energies. It can represent a blossoming romance, a deeply loyal friendship, or even a successful professional partnership. Upright, this card indicates balance and a mutually beneficial relationship built on emotional connection and trust. In love, this represents a budding romance, mutual attraction, or even a deepening of a current bond. In career and business, this represents a strong collaborative effort or a partnership where both parties see eye to eye. In self-love, this represents establishing inner peace, forgiving yourself, or even balancing your emotions. Reversed, when this card appears reversed, it points to a disconnect, miscommunication, or even a lack of balance in your connections. This represents discord, arguments, feelings that are not returned, or a breakdown in harmony. The advice for this is to release your ego, resolve lingering conflicts, or even establish healthier, more respectful boundaries. Now we will get into the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles is a card in tarot that represents dynamic balance and multitasking. When this card appears, you see a figure playing with two coins tied together by an infinity symbol, and this is rising. They're rising ocean waves. The upright meaning is that there's a season of complexity where you're actively balancing various aspects of life, such as work, finances, and family. The Two of Pentacles is reminding you that you have the agility and dexterity to handle everything if you stay flexible and maintain your rhythm. Reversed, it suggests that your balancing act is becoming unsustainable. And it also serves as a warning that you may be taking on too much, leading to dropping balls, financial strain, or even an inability to make a decision. Some of the key themes for the Two of Pentacles are balance and agility, adapting to the constant ups and downs of life, finances. In finances, this means juggling expenses and income or deciding how you're going to divide your material resources. In priorities, this represents a need to prioritize your commitments and periodically recenter yourself. Now we will get into the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is a card of vision, planning, and bold decision making. It signifies that you have laid the groundwork for your goals and possess great personal power, and now you're at a crossroads, deciding whether to stay in your comfort zone or step back into a broader future. Upright, this card is encouraging you to dream big and map out the next steps. It represents planning, when you formulate a strategy before taking action, vision, looking past your current reality and seeing the potential for a global or large-scale success, and in control, having the power, resources, and confidence to shape your destiny. Reversed, the Two of Wands indicates hesitation, fear of the unknown, or feeling stuck in the planning phase. It's suggesting indecision, and this can lead to delays. It can also mean scattered focus, losing sight of your original goal, or the original thing that you wanted, or maybe even taking too much on at once. This also represents a lack of action, over planning without taking the necessary leap. See here. Now we will go over the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is a card that represents indecision, mental stalemates, and difficult choices. This card appears in a reading when you're stuck at a crossroads, needing to make a critical decision without having all the information you want. The core imagery is that there's a woman seated who's blindfolded, holding two crossed words. The blindfold represents a self-imposed limitation or a refusal to look at the truth or gather all the facts. The crosswords symbolize balanced opinions of equal weight or a standoff between your head and your heart. The water in the background represents turbulent emotions, suggesting the underlying feelings may make a logical choice difficult. Upright, it means you're stuck in the middle. When upright, the Two of Swords points to a dilemma where you have been feeling paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong move. You may be trying to weigh the pros and the cons, or actively ignoring what is in front of you. The lesson here is that inaction is still a choice. The card is advising you to remove the blindfold, trust your intuition, and make a choice. Any decisive move is better than staying in mental limbo. And simply reversed, it means that you've already made this decision. This is when the stalemate finally breaks. The lesson is that you're forced to make a choice, or either if you don't make this choice, then the situation will resolve itself, maybe not even in the way that you want. In the alternative, it warns against information overload, causing a prolonged procrastination, or the tendency to let others make important life decisions on your behalf instead of you making them yourself.